Should be all right, though. Should be okay. Welcome back, Rustler fans. Third period action, 6-0 Rustler lead. (26-11) shots in favor of the Lloydminster Rustlers. Clark will win that one clean, goes back past Peters. Peters now in behind her own net. Sends it up along the near side boards for Booley, and that gets stopped at the blue line, chipped back in. Sent back up again. That one takes a funny hop off a stance right to the tape of Clark. Clark chips that one up to Bensmiller. Bensmiller gets a piece of it as it rolls into Saskatoon territory. That one up off the stick. Sent up and down the ice. Now Peters will have to get on her horse. Mason's fast, but not as fast as Peters. She'll get back, and we'll get an icing against Saskatoon as the Rustlers will throw 5 fresh bodies out. It'll go away. I don't know if power saving mode does anything or not. 6-0, I ain't worried about it. Face-off won by the Rustlers, back to Peters, or sorry, Waddell. Waddell takes a shot off a shin pad back behind Saskatoon net. Poked up ahead, here comes Saskatoon now up over center. Waddell knocks it off the stick, allowing Weber or Rollick to get back. Near side corner now for McNabb. McNabb pokes it back up the near side for Baby. Baby pokes it up to Beyer. Beyer pokes that one up to Rollick, and here comes Rollick up over the blue line. Rollick puts the brakes on it, but she gets it knocked off her stick. Now in behind the net for Beyer. Beyer sends that one back to Waddell. Waddell from the far side point with a shot right on. Rebound, floated free for a second, but finally soaked up by the Saskatoon tender. I know, right? I was just going to make a comment about that. Dedication. I want to turn around and ask him if he has a question. Face off won again by the Rustlers, back to Hurley. Hurley chips that one back over to Smithson. Smithson with a shot from the far side circle. Nice little poke there by Hurley. They'll chip it out up over the blue line. Centering pass goes to the tape of Boolean. Boolean loses the handle on it, goes through the skates of Smithson back to Hurley. Hurley sees a lane, tries to thread the needle, goes through off a shin pad back to Smithson. Hurley shuts the door at center ice again, backhand pass, that one just out of the reach of Arguin. She'll chip it up on the near side boards back into Saskatoon territory. Cross ice pass, that goes bouncing up over Hurley's stick to the far side corner. Hurley puts the brakes on, fans on the clearing attempt, centering pass out in front, and Bensmiller gets a stick in the way. Chipped down the ice now by Boolean, sent back in by Saskatoon, rolls to the near side corner for Bensmiller. Bensmiller lets it go for Boolean, that'll get chipped up to the blue line, but stopped right there. Boolean finally gets it out over the blue line. Intercepted by Clark. Clark over to the far side for Hurley. Hurley over her blue line, centering pass. That one just out of the reach of the Saskatoon defender. Goaltender comes out to play it. Come on, ref. Goalie came out to play it. Goalie's a player too. Just because it's 6-0 doesn't mean the rules change. Okay. All right, kudos to the ref. You don't hear me say that very often, so carry it. It's worth gold. Center ice face-off now because that wouldn't have been an icing. Face-off won by the Rustlers, back to Peters. Peters will get it up to center, and she'll send one out as she gets bumped at the center ice boards. Near side corner for Schwartz. Saskatoon starting to throw the body around a little bit now. They've changed the game. Centering pass, that one goes up off the goalie and in! And Baby is on the board! 7-0 Rustlers, 17-15 to go in the third, and the flyby is done. Face off for Byer at center. That'll get one back to Peters, off her stick back to Brander. Brander chips one up to the near side for Baby. Baby pokes that one up ahead for Byer. Byer with it over the blue line. Byer steers that one to the corner, chases it back to Brander. Brander cross ice to Peters. Peters to the far side circle with some time. Rebound! And soaked up by the Saskatoon goaltender. Oh, and the pushing and shoving begins. 7-0. I can expect this to get entertaining in a different way now. Face-off won by the Rustlers back to Waddell.
The Rustlers goal scored at 17:15 of the third period by number 23, Rhea Baby. Assist to number 18, Bentley Byer.
Byer getting the apple on the Baby goal. Stopped by McNabb. McNabb looking for a lane, sends one through, just about tipped by Smithson. Waddell pinching in, trying to keep that in place. Smithson in to help out. It'll roll back to center ice for McNabb. McNabb going to send that one back in. Nice little tip there by Waddell. Waddell, far side circle, trying to walk in. Puts the brakes on, hands it off to Boulian. Boulian sends one through, tried a one-time one to Clark. Clark couldn't take the bouncing puck. There's another shot off a stick, rolls back to the near side corner. Comes free, Boulian, near side circle, centering pass. Tried to one-time that one in. Out in front was Clark. She had her stick held at the last second. Picked off now by Schwartz with a nice little soccer move. Schwartz in over the blue line. Schwartz still with it, turning around, trying to backhand pass back to Bensmiller. Bensmiller chips that one, stopped at the far side blue line by Weber. Back to Byer. Byer sends it in. Baby looking for another one. Pinching in now is who's on? Oh, Rollick was on D. Rollick back covering for somebody. Rollick with a nice pass to the far side, just out of the reach of Bensmiller. Bensmiller puts the brakes on far side blue line. Bensmiller trying to walk one in, hands it off to Rollick. Rollick with a shot! Saved by Saskatoon. Rollick picks up her own rebound. Rollick back to Weber. Weber looking for somewhere to go. A couple of spin moves there. Weber, they're giving her a lane. She'll take it. That one goes sailing over the crossbar. Bensmiller with another shot from the far side corner. And that'll get chipped up along the far side boards. Sent back to the point as Baby picks it up. Baby with a slap shot. That one stopped in front. Reaching for it there was Weber as it gets sent back out over the blue line. Weber in her own zone. Far side, she's got Rollick. Sends one up. Rollick just couldn't quite reach it. And we'll get an icing call against the Rustlers. Straight time playoff game. You love that sentence when it's your team winning. Face-off for arguing on the blocker side of Fritz. Saskatoon will win that one. They'll send it around behind the net. Peters is there. Peters will try and tangle it up. Backhand pass out in front, comes to the point. There's a shot. That one's blocked by Rollick. Chip back behind the net again. Weber gonna tie that one up. Byer trying to pull it out. Sent over to the far side corner. Now Byer gets position. Byer lets it go for Peters. Peters flicks it into the crowd. Comes back to Peters again. Peters will turn it around this time. Send it up off the far side or behind the net. Weber chips that one up. It goes up into the, right up to the neutral ice. And here comes Rollick. Rollick with a toe drag attempt. And she gets her pocket pick, but she battles back. Saskatoon now up over the blue line, and Peters will pinch her off. Hurley regains control, puts the brakes on the far side corner. Hurley buying enough time for everybody to come back as Clark comes crashing in. Over to the far side corner now for Peters. Peters tried to poke that one up ahead. Comes free for Clark. Clark tried to get it out. Comes back to Peters again. Peters sends it back off behind the net to Hurley. Hurley puts the brakes on. God, that kid's broke more ankles today than anybody I've seen. Boolean, near side, centering. Gets it to Clark. Clark's got Schwartz. Schwartz and Clark. Tried to pass one off. Gets her stick lifted. Gets it to Schwartz now. Chip back out in front to Clark. Clark with a shot off a stick. Rolls back to Schwartz. Schwartz hands that one back off to Boolean. Boolean tried to chip it back to McNabb. McNabb back to Boolean. Back to McNabb. McNabb with some time. Skating one in. McNabb with a shot that's blocked. And here comes Saskatoon, but Brander, she's going to get there first. Brander beating him out. Saskatoon with a lucky bounce. There's a shot and a huge save by Parker Fritz. Poked up ahead now. Schwartz trying to wrangle that one up as it gets intercepted, and that one tried to chip it in, goes off a skate. Now pass straight to Smithson, bouncing puck off the stick. Over to the far side. McNabb steering the body off now for Smithson. Smithson up along the near side for Boolean. Boolean chips it up to herself. Near side blue line, she'll get it up to center ice. And more as she'll get it all the way down, and the Rustlers can finally change 5. Oh, and the linesman again didn't even lift a leg. God, that bugs me. Bensmiller chips that one up to Rollick. Rollick steers it at center ice. Picked off again by Saskatoon. They'll get it up over the blue line, and a huge hit with Bensmiller and Waddell. Not two you want to get tangled up with. Rollick steers that one back in for Byer. Byer hands it off to Bensmiller with a shot right on, bounces over the goalie, and they score! I'm thinking Bensmiller got that one off the goalie, up and over. $10:20 to go in the third as the Rustlers take an 8-goal lead. Yeah, I have never said that. Perfect time for these girls to start playing hockey. Waddell off the face-off, hands that one, nice backhand pass to Clark. Clark gets it up to Boolean. Boolean with a nice move as she gets hooked up, and no call. In behind the net now for Clark. Clark try to backhand pass out in front, that's intercepted. Chipped up along the near side boards for Bensmiller. Bensmiller has it hop over her stick. Back is Schwartz. Schwartz chips it back to Waddell. Waddell near side corner. Sends that one up along the far side back to Clark. Clark sends it back to Bensmiller on the near side. Bensmiller with a nice move in her own zone. Centers that one up to Boolean. Boolean up over the blue line. Definitely offside, but that's okay. Nice pass by Schwartz through the crowd. Doesn't get through all the way though. Chip back to the point for Peters. Peters sends that one off a stick. Nice work by Boolean. Hands it off to Weber. Weber loses the handle on it. Chip that one up. Weber again, just overpowering. Peters shuts the door, getting it back to Weber. Along the far side now for Smithson. Smithson pokes it up. That one off the far side boards as Arguin tried to send it sailing. Saskatoon with it in the corner. They'll center one up. There's a shot. Stopped. Fanned on the shot. Boolean gets a stick on it. Peters pokes that one up ahead. Peters again pokes it up ahead. Peters pokes it down into their zone. She'll give chase. Peters along the far side board. She's going to get there first. Peters tying it up behind the Saskatoon net. She's going to come out with it. Peters centering pass. That one steered back behind the net as Rollick gets dumped in front. Saskatoon up over center on the stretch pass. There's a weak shot, goes wide on the blocker side. Hurley will collect. Hurley tried to poke that one up ahead, but just out of the reach. Hurley sends that one back out of the zone, forcing Saskatoon to reset. Hurley, near side for Baby. Baby's got Rollick. Rollick forgot to drag a foot. So is it 7 or 8 for straight time? 7. Well, it's just a taste, everybody. We got another one at 5 o'clock as the girls try to close the door on Saskatoon. Stamp their ticket to the finals. Far side, poked for Clark. Clark for Boulian. Boulian drags it back into the corner. Poked up along the far side for McNabb. Hops over her stick. Brander will chase back now at her own blue line. Brander, near side, gets it to Clark. Bounces off her stick. Back into Saskatoon territory. Schwartz with a nice move at the blue line. Schwartz still with it. Gets knocked off her stick. McNabb will chase it down, carry it in herself, far side corner. She lost the handle on it. Schwartz back again, hands it to McNabb. McNabb centering pass, steered aside by the goaltender. Saskatoon from behind their own net, back to the far side corner. Arguin reads the play, chips it back into the behind the goal again. Centering pass, there's Arguin with a shot and a save by Saskatoon. Puck tip there, Brander has to get back, she's got heat on her. She'll chip it up along the near side boards to Boulian. Boulian tried to stretch out Smithson. Saskatoon was looking to send it back in, but they were offside. Now they'll dump it in. Goes behind the net to the far side. McNabb all by herself as the Rustlers are changing. McNabb will buy some time. Puck comes free. Saskatoon will pull it out of the crowd back to the far side point. There's a weak shot in, tipped in front. Rolls back to the near side corner. Another centering pass picked off by McNabb. McNabb looking for somewhere to go with it. She'll hit Rollick on the far side. Rollick with a toe drag, knocked off her stick to the far side corner. Rollick with a nice bump in the far side corner. Centers one, comes all the way back for Bensmiller. Bensmiller looking for a lane, puts the brakes on. Bensmiller still with it, trying to cut back. Bounces free, now here comes Waddell. She's got to chase back. Waddell and Mason trying to get back together. Waddell with a stick reach. Beautiful defensive play by Aubrey Waddell to get back, lift the stick, and not take a penalty. Pocket pick there again by Saskatoon, and again, Byer now using the stick. Saskatoon walking one into the slot, and there's a stop by Bensmiller. Waddell sends it over to the far side. Rollick pokes that one up ahead. Rollick trying to flick that one up and out. She'll carry it now into the far side corner herself. Chip it behind the net for Waddell. Waddell sends it back to Bensmiller. That one goes past her. Rustler's tired. Saskatoon fresh centering pass. That one saved and held. There's a couple of whacks after the whistle there. Baby took offense to it. 4:20 to go. Third period. The whole game. The whole game. Face-off's going to be won by the Rustlers, and here comes Schwartz. 2-on-1, gets it up to Boulian, now a 1-on-1. Boulian up over the blue line, near side circle, she gets bumped. Centering pass, that one goes off the skates. Comes back to Clark. Clark drops that one back for Weber, gets off her stick, comes out of the zone for Peters. Peters will send it back in along the far side as the Rustlers will change two. Saskatoon trying to get one out of their zone. Boulian in to shut the door. Boulian near side with a shot that goes up off the blocker. Sent back to the near side corner for Smithson. Smithson chips one back in behind the Saskatoon net as Arguin gives chase and gets position and the puck. Arguin drop pass. Couple of nice moves there. Comes back to Peters at the point. Peters sends it back to the far side corner. Sends one over to Weber. Weber in the slot tried to get a shot. She got tangled up. Saskatoon now breaking out. Byer and Peters back. Peters shuts the door just outside of the blue line. Byer will collect. Byer with a nice pass to Rollick. Rollick will tip that one in and give chase. Battle for it in the far side corner, poked now behind the net. Centering pass, that one goes free for everybody. Kind of tangled up, pulled out of the crowd was Rollick. Rollick back to Hurley. Hurley cross ice for Brander. Brander has to go off the skate and come back out. She'll turn around and regroup. Back to Hurley at the far side. Hurley tries a centering pass. That goes through everybody. Back to Hurley again. Hurley chips that one up along the far side again for Rollick. Stolen from her. Now Saskatoon. Byer in with a nice hit. Brander chasing it down now near side. She'll chip it up to Baby. Baby gets a piece of it and sends it in. She'll chase it down now near side corner. Oh, Rollick and Baby both got some ankles broke there. Here's Clark. Intercepts that one, trying to get a shot off. Sends it out in front. Rollick with a spinorama backhand. And they make it 9-0. Just over 2 to go. Well, if you're going to pick a night to make it a point night, let's make it a playoff game. Take a look at us, Edmonton, because we're coming. Face off, won by Clark. Back to McNabb. McNabb blows a tire at her own blue line, but gets back up in time to hand it off to Clark. Clark to Boulian. Boulian will get it out of the zone. Chipped in now by Saskatoon. McNabb will chase down in her own zone. McNabb drop pass for Bensmiller. Bensmiller with a little bit of time. A couple of nice moves there in her own zone. Sends that one up, and that goes through everybody, but Schwartz, oh. Schwartz beat it out again. Come on, guys.
Rustlers goal scored at 2:10 in the third period.
The ref is giving some lessons here.
Assistant number 77, Harper Clark.
Face off now on the blocker side of Fritz, won by Saskatoon, sent in. Fritz will steer it aside with her blocker. Centering pass, picked up now by Schwartz. Schwartz pokes it up ahead for Boulian. Boulian gets kind of tied up there. Lost the handle on it. 30 seconds to go in the game. Dumped down.